everyone. Welcome back to Open. We are loving life, breathing fresh air, love Gaia. Welcome back. Our next guest, executive producer, host, and creator of Afro-Latino Travels with Kim Haas. Kim Haas has been active in Afro-Latino issues for over a decade, and her series invites viewers to explore the history, art, music, dance, cuisine, education, sports, and environmental conservation of African descendants in Central and South America and the Caribbean. Afro-Latino Travels with Kim Haas celebrates Black joy, pride, and resilience, showcasing the significant impact Afro-Latinos have on shaping Latin American culture. And joining us to share more in studio this time is Afro-Latino Travels with Kim Haas, executive producer, host, and creator, Kim Haas.
I feel like I should do some of this.
Yes, well, we're doing Kaya, but for you, I have a song. Caribbean Queen.
Oh,
now we're sharing the same thing. And our hearts will beat as one. Cause we're loving our Mother Earth. That was my remix.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. And of course, I had to acknowledge you for, wearing your tiara for the occasion, our Halloween episode. Thank you for coming in studio, sister.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you on again. It's lovely to have you in person.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we interviewed you was 2020, virtually during the pandemic.
Yes.
We were all keeping each other company.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but you had a wonderful project that you were birthing out into the world, and now you've got a second season, and now both seasons are available for everyone to view.
Yes.
Now, let's share with our viewers this whole journey that you've chosen to take in traveling to first Costa Rica and then Colombia.
Yes, so thank you, and again, a great pleasure to be here with you in studio. So this has been an absolutely amazing journey, and kind of celebrating Blacks in Latin America. And, I watched Spanish language television before.
Did you used to work for Telemundo?
I did.
She used to work for Telemundo.
I did.
And I have to bring that up because it's like, wait, you're African American, but you're so driven by highlighting the Afro-Latinidad that is a huge part of the Latin American culture.
Absolutely, and thank you for saying that. And yes, so I did work for Telemundo in Philadelphia, and and I watched a lot of Spanish language television, and I'm like, well, where do people who look like me? Because I've traveled to Venezuela and Brazil and Colombia and Cuba and the Dominican Republic, and I learned more and more about Latin America's rich and deep African influence. And so people of African descent have been in Latin America for 500 years as part of the Middle Passage, as part of the slave trade. And so they've been there. 90% of people of African descent, those who were taken from Africa, went to Central America, the Caribbean, and South America. Just a small percentage went to what is now the United States and North America. About 10%.
Right.
So the great majority were in Central America, the Caribbean, and South America.
And that's the other thing I love about your show. It's educational.
Yes.
Right. It's an educational joyride.
Yeah, I like that. Yes. It's an educational joyride. Yes, it is, because you can do both. I think we can entertain people and educate them at the same time, as you do, about topics that matter and about giving relevance, importance, visibility to Afro-Latinos.
Right, and so and the thing about it is you've chosen to do it culturally, right? Yes. And so in your first season, you basically introduce everybody to different parts of Costa Rica, right? And you highlight individuals. And so how do you choose your subjects?
So pura vida, if you're, Costa Rica, giving out good vibes. So it's a combination. We work with the tourism boards that we work with. We internet research, talking to people I know from the different countries, who's the chef, who's the Afro Costa Rican writer, who's the Colombian, author, dancer, the Petronio Alvarez Festival, which is huge. It's one of Latin America's biggest Afro-Latino festivals.
When
and
is that festival?
It's in Cali, like around the second week in August every year. And it's amazing. The marimba, traditional dance, people, Afro-Colombians come in from the Pacific coast to share about their culture, the richness of their culture, the preservation of their culture, and the sharing. And there's so much goodness in these communities and so many people doing such great work to preserve their culture that I just want to be part of it, you know?
And you know what I find even more fascinating is that most of them speak English.
Well, yes,
most of them.
yes.
I mean, there's subtitles
Yes.
on the ones that don't.
Right.
But you're also fluent in Spanish.
Yes, I majored in Spanish, so undergraduate and graduate school, because I just loved it. And I wanted to be a part of it, and I wanted to share these stories. And so I always knew from a long time that Spanish had to be part of my life.
How cool is that? You get to travel, put it on record,
Yes.
experience life in these cultures,
Yeah.
highlight individuals who would normally have that spotlight, right?
Yes.
At least on a broader scale, right? Because your
Absolutely.
show is airing nationally now.
Yes, so people can catch the shows on PBS stations throughout the country, Create TV, which is PBS's travel and lifestyle channel. So there's a lot of ways to catch the programming. And like you said, it's so important because otherwise these communities go pretty much unnoticed.
Right.
And people don't know about them. But another way that you can, in addition to the shows, is our tours.
Right, you
Yes,
told me.
yes,
Oh my
yes,
gosh,
yes.
look at this. It's opened up a whole
I
new
know.
market for you.
Open, yes.
Okay,
This is
open.
open.
Oh.
Yes, this
I
is
like that.
open,
I like that.
yes,
I like that.
yes.
I like that. But that is amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so after these, obviously these seasons were already shot, they're airing.
Yeah.
And while you're in development of what could possibly be another season, crossing our fingers.
Absolutely.
You also have a deal on the table with the Tourist Council, right?
Yes.
The Tourism Council.
Right. So what we're doing is on our own.
Okay.
We get support and the tourism boards help us, but on our own, this is our own project, we are developing tours to the countries where we've shot. So we just had a tour in August for Costa Rica.
Nice.
So kind of following in the footsteps of the Costa Rica episodes, meeting Daniel South at his amazing chocolate farm. Quince Duncan spoke at one of our tours 2 years ago, and he's one of Costa Rica's most prolific and revered writers. And he's the first writer who talked about blacks in Costa Rica.
Right.
So
Right.
the
I love
presentation
that
was amazing,
episode.
you know?
Yes,
And then
yes.
people can join us in Colombia next year,
Okay.
July
so,
2025.
Oh, okay. She's already plugging
Mark
July
it, yes.
2025.
Yes.
Right. Because you already missed the Costa Rica one, but that doesn't mean that there couldn't be another one in development
that's
as
right.
far as the trip. Because I think what would be really cool, right,
Yes.
is like once they see the actual episodes,
Yes.
then they're able to have a glimpse of what they're going to be visiting or who they're going to be meeting with, and it's almost like shining more light on
Exactly.
these individuals and these towns.
Yes.
Right, and the crafts, because I know you're also highlighting dancers, you're
Yes.
highlighting chefs, you're highlighting political individuals.
Yeah.
It's quite like I said, it's a joyride. It's a
I
nice
love that.
journey.
It is
Yeah.
a joy ride. It's a joy for me to think about and be creative. Like, how can we make this trip? You know, because each one really is curated for the group, and we really try and make it extra special. And so how do we, like you said, find, the dancer in the show? So we'll go to, maybe the Salsa Museum in Cali. Marimba's got to factor into it. How do we meet with small business owners, Afro-Colombians, politicians, folks doing incredible work, good work, and talking about the Afro-Colombian experience in this instance in 2025. So I'm super excited.
I'm excited to even be sharing this with our viewers because,
Yes.
we are like advocates of supporting local businesses. We're obviously advocates, advocating arts,
Yes.
culture, women empowerment,
Yes.
and also the unity, but from this place of really just finding similarities within our differences, right? And so the fact that that's what you're doing, you're highlighting the hyper-local of the country.
Yes.
And so it's aligned with what we do here. And I think it's a beautiful thing when you can go and visit a country and be with the natives, right?
Yes.
So like when in Rome,
Do as the Romans.
right,
Yeah.
right. And I'm one of those travelers. I
Yeah.
want to say, like the gentleman that we had on right before you,
Right.
he's from Jamaica, and I never got to share with him. Like Jamaica is one of my favorite destinations.
Yeah.
I went and I stayed in the grill, but I
love
lived
Negril.
I lived
Yes.
as a Jamaican. Like
Yeah.
I was eating my food off the beach.
Right. Yes.
Meaning I was buying from the
Yeah.
locals. I was down with the locals. I was
Right.
drinking coconut water from the
Yes.
actual coconuts that they were climbing trees to get.
That's
And
it.
so all of that it really really enlightens an individual on just the beauty of life and the
Absolutely.
beauty of travel, the beauty of cultures, the beauty of once again just being with each other.
Yes. And you know what? And I think what you said, when you experience it, and especially like that, and very local, the hyper local, getting with residents, I mean, you really experience, and like you said, the connections, and you realize we're all the same. We all are human beings. We all want more or less the same things, We want to be well. We want our families to be well, prosperous, healthy. And I think you get in touch with the people when we have, like on our tours, on this show, to really see an Afro-Costa Rican or Afro-Colombian and get to know them, either whether it's through the TV screen or being right with them on a tour. You get to realize, hey, again, we're all the same, whether it's climbing the tree, right, and getting the coconut water or whatever it is, but realizing that people all want the same things. And I think travel is a great way to experience that. So we try and do that with the shows, with the tours, make it so that people really understand and connect with each other.
I love it. That's a wonderful conclusion to this segment,
No.
especially with Afro-Latinidad.
No, thank
Yes,
you.
'cause
Yes.
that's what you're focusing on,
Yes.
and we love that. And we thank you for bringing it here on our
Gracias.
show. Everyone, Kim Haas. Once again, Afro-Latino Travels with Kim Haas, who is the executive producer, host, and creator, is available on Create TV and PBS. And if you're interested in more information on both the show and her tour that's taking place in 2025, you can visit travelswithkimhaas.com. All right, stay tuned. There's more open after the break.